Hey, Huples Cat. This is going to be probably one of 2 or 3 videos. What I wanted to do, and I've always been looked at this, is history. Those who ignore history are doomed to repeat it. And prepping has not just been invented. Most people, when they get into prepping, they see prepping from that point on evolve. Why do we prep? Why did you start prepping? Why did prepping start? So I went to Wikipedia. I hate Wikipedia, it's a load of garbage usually, but they actually had an interesting site. Prepping's been removed, which I thought was interesting. So you're directed to survivalism, which should please people like Uncle Al, Die Bullfrog 79. So this is mostly from the Wikipedia page. I'm not going to link it. Wikipedia, preppers, survivalism, you'll find it. But it's a history of prepping, and I think it's interesting because I'm going to do the history, then the types of prepper that the Wikipedia identifies, and then I'm going to kind of round it up, so it'll probably be 3. I better get on it. Survivalism is primarily an American movement of individuals or groups called survivalists or preppers, who are actively preparing for emergencies, including possible disruptions in social or political order on scales from the local to the international. Survivalists often acquire medical and self-defense training, stockpile food and water, prepare to become self-sufficient, and build structures, e.g. survival retreats or underground shelters, aka now the bug out location, I don't know why that didn't get on there, that may help them survive a catastrophe. Now this is where it gets kind of interesting. This is the history bit. So it's been around for years, actually forever. The Doomsday Movement is a whole different topic about apocalypse date setting and what happened. That's been around probably for as long as humanity's been here. It's a fascination. But this is good. So the survivors' concerns during the 1970s were economic collapse, hyperinflation and famine, because grain collapsed, the dollar collapsed, and inflation ran rampant. You know, up to 15, 20, 25% inflation a year. So every year your dollar was worth 25% less. Kind of makes you unhappy. We're not used to that anymore. A lot of people under the age of 30 don't understand what interest rate rises will mean. I've been told interest rates cannot rise. They are starting to rise. I do remember interest rates of 22% in recent times. So if you have a mortgage and a heavy mortgage, get rid of that debt as fast as you can, or you might lose your home. It will and can happen, and has happened before. The early 80s, not surprising, nuclear war was the common fear, and people started building fallout shelters. So that had been a previous movement, of course, in the 50s, but that was more government sanctioned. 1999, those of us old enough to remember that, Y2K. I completely didn't take Y2K seriously whatsoever. I realised I didn't think it was going to happen at all. The day after Y2K, I rented in a very, very rich area of Toronto. The day after was garbage day, and all the houses had massive amounts of freeze-dried food and cans of water and even survival gear, like knives and stuff, dumped on the sidewalk because they'd all bought them for Y2K just in case. Didn't collect any of them, I wasn't prepping that one. 2001, unsurprisingly, the focus then became terrorism by group or by state. Survivalist, the term, dates from 1976, and perhaps Uncle Al could say whether that's true or not. I suspect it predates that. I don't think there's much new in the world that's created. I think things are rediscovered or reimagined. Prepper and prep have grown since the 1990s, mostly because Ted Kaczynski and Timothy McVeigh and others gave survivalists a bad name, so people felt, I'm a survivalist, but I'm not Timothy McVeigh, I'm not keen on blowing babies to bits, so I'll call myself a prepper. That's what they're claiming here. The prepper or survivalist focuses on living through dangerous situations and helps their community in the process. Ideally, I think that's, I don't know who wrote that, I think that's just garbage. I think most preppers, most survivalists, really don't give a monkeys about their community. It's their family first, and their community is seen as a tool to promote their personal and family survival. There are nice people out there prepping for their communities. Now, Cold War we all know about, duck and cover, 1950s, 1960s. Apparently somebody can correct me on this, this is claiming that the Mormons, the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints, recommended a year's supply of food in response to the 1950s, 60s nuclear war threat. I'm not sure if that's true, and I'd like a moment to tell me if it's true or not. There! But apparently they're only advising 3 months food supply now. 1929, Great Depression, that's been covered before, that's been used over and over and over. This is where it gets interesting in terms of history. The inflation rate in the 1960s, with the consequent US monetary devaluation and the continued concern about nuclear war between the US and the Soviets, and increasing vulnerability of urban living due to supply shortages and systems failures which occurred at that time, promoted both conservatives and libertarians to start to take individual preparations to survive an economic collapse in the 1960s. Short break.